Hello, I am Maggie. Thank you so much for joining me today for another video, and I am just gonna jump right in. Today I'm discussing my top 10 things I wish I knew before I joined my corporate career or my big girl job or just entering the workforce essentially. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. So the number one thing I wish I would have understood better or knew about a little bit more is the 401k contributions. So I know that's a strange one out the gate, but I think money is so important. Contributing to your financial future is important, and this page is essentially about my career, lifestyle, and money. So when I first got my first job, I didn't know much about the company match, what that meant, if that would be up to a certain percent. I think, let's say for example, it was like 4%, up to 4%, but they would only really match 2, and then you do the difference. Finding out the numbers behind that in the back end really helps so much. So for the 401k, I look at it as if I'm taking $100 out of my account every month and putting it towards something, and my employer is also doing that, that's an extra 200, and I had to do, or that's an extra 100, making it 200 that goes towards my company, or towards my retirement, that wasn't there before. Alternatively, I wish I would have understood the vesting period. Some jobs you have to wait 90 days or a year or a month or whatever before you're able to get whatever the company put in on their half. But then other companies, they start from day one. So if I had a company that came up to me saying, "Hey Maggie, we have the same salary, but the only thing that's different in salary or in the compensation package for job A and job B is that job A offers 401k or 401k contributions on day one, and the other one you have to wait 6 months," I'd probably go with the first one, because that's essentially free money that I'm leaving on the table if not. And I know we're young, so we're not really thinking about the future so much, and seeing it taken out of your paycheck is hurtful, but to know how much you can have on the back end when you do get older is something that's, now that I've been in the workforce, I can see the importance of. Another thing I would say regarding the 401k match before I move is to meet the match. So if they do, say your company gives 6%, which is very good, also give 6% if you can take, or if you can stomach seeing that going out of your account, because that is a lot of money and your retirement fund would grow. And then also invest it. If they don't automatically invest it for you, make sure your money's doing the work, or else it's just another savings account. So those are my tips for the 401k. Number 2, HR. So understand that HR is not your friend. Those, I don't want to say they're your enemy, but they're not there to help you. They are there to help the company. So make sure you don't have the type of relationship where you rely too heavily on them, because if push comes to shove and there is an issue, say with your manager, their first instinct is to protect the manager, whoever's been there longer, and to potentially kick you to the curb. So that is a good segue into the next step, number 3, or the next thing I wish I knew, which is to document everything. And this could be for HR, like I said before, in case there is a tiff between you and one of your previous coworkers, managers, whoever it may be. Document it so you know what was said, who said what. There's no he said, she said as well. Document so when it's time for the year-end review or the mid-year review, you can say, "Hey, I did this. I helped the company reach this goal. I'm a contributor and have done XYZ 1, 2, 3." And now you have the backing to get you a better promotion, a better salary, a better whatever. So document. It can save you on potentially being on a PIP, or a performance improvement plan, or it could give you your new role. Tip number 4 is to not accept scraps. If you feel like you can get more, whether that's money or opportunity, make sure that you do what's best for you and you aren't just getting whatever you think you can just to get by. If you don't have to be in that predicament, don't do it. Number 5, do the bare minimum, or else you will get more work. And There's nothing wrong with more work, but I'm saying if you're not trying to take on the task of 3 individuals and to your one person and your one salary, just do what's asked for you, maybe slightly above that, depending on what your goals are in the company. If I was a new hire, I'd probably be doing a little more so they see my value. But if I'm happy and content with where I'm at, I'm just going to do what's in my job description. Nothing more, nothing less. Another part to that is to under-promise but over-perform. So say you're only able to, or you're giving the task to do 3 items, and someone comes, oh, can you actually do an extra 4 items? Let them know you're at capacity, but then also maybe do an extra one of those items or 2, so you're outperforming. Your baseline was to do only 3, but you're also helping out additionally without putting too much strain on yourself. You should also set realistic expectations for you and those around you. So you can't do 1,000 things at once. There's only 24 hours in the day, only 8 hours you should be working if you're working the standard 40-hour week. So do not overexert yourself. I would not recommend it. And just do what you're certain you can do at a baseline level. Don't say you can do 10 different tasks and know you only have the time to do 5. Then people are going to look at you like you're a slacker, when in reality you weren't supposed to be doing those 10 tasks. Do you get what I'm saying? Also, another point to this I would say is to always look busy, even if you aren't. Not saying get filler tasks or anything, but be, that person that you never want to bother too much because they have a lot on their plate already. Be one of those. Act like you're always doing something and you're just your capacity has reached its limit, because then people are less inclined to ask you to do the bitch work. What goes hand in hand with that is also helping your coworkers and your peers when you see that they need an extra hand. Maybe you're not taking all off their plate, but you're able to say, hey, I have some time. Can I help you with a task or 2? That way, 1, you're building a good relationship with them, and 2, they know they can rely on you, so they won't flex that muscle too often. They'll know that you can do it when you can do it, and it's builds a good rapport with the team. Number 6, everybody is replaceable, but so is your company. Do not feel guilty for leaving. They are never going to feel guilty for firing you. Just like how you're required in some places, or it's looked on better if you give a 2-week warning. They don't give you a 2-week before they fire you. They do that on the spot, sometimes before you can even log in to the computer for the day. So if they treat you well, treat them as good as you think they deserve. At the end of the day, they are a company and they're going to make sure their bottom line is met, and sometimes that would have to be at the expense of you. Another part of this is job hopping. Do not be afraid to job hop. It is a great way to maximize your salary output. If you stay at one company, you might be getting maybe 3% cost of living adjustment, whereas if you job hop, you can be making 15, 20, 50% more than what you're making currently. So job hop for the financials, job hop for the skill set. If you're able to get a better opportunity learning something that you're more interested in, look out for yourself. That's all you have. Number 7 is to use your sick and vacation time. If you don't use it, sometimes you will lose it, and you're never going to be looked at positively more than the next guy for taking no time off. In fact, you might be more burnt out and less inclined to do better work. Your productivity might lessen. So just take the time that's indebted to you, take a break, enjoy your life. You're more than just work, so you should be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Go on a trip, take some time off to stay at home, do anything, but don't live to work. Number 8, find a boss or a mentor that advocates for you. So that can be the difference between having a great work experience and a great trajectory for your career moving forward, or being stagnant. I've had terrible bosses who weren't able to manage me in the way that I needed to be managed and weren't able to communicate effectively, and that hurt our relationship, but that also made me feel like I was less of a contributor than I was, when really it was just their style and they weren't ready to have a team. So Finding someone who's good at coaching and good at cultivating talent is important, and someone who actually wants to, and they can put you in the rooms of others to showcase your skill set and show face, because your net worth is your network. So like they say, I might have that backward, your network is your net worth. However, your next job could be whoever you were introduced with prior. So I do think having a mentor or a boss who advocates for you is imperative, especially early on in your career. I think throughout the trajectory of it, whether you're entry level, mid level, senior, if you have someone a step above or a few steps above who can help you in your journey, that can never go wrong. Number 9, imposter syndrome is all in your head. They would not have hired you if you were not meant to be there. The recruiter looks at so many applications, so many resumes. You've ticked off the right boxes. You crushed the interview. You're exactly where you need to be. And if you go in and you find that it's not a good fit, most of the time, that's not any bearing on you. Maybe it's culturally not a good spot for you. Maybe you actually don't enjoy the role. But I would caution you not to lead first with, oh, this means I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be in this role. I'm not good enough for it. You are good enough for it, or else you wouldn't have gotten the role. Have some confidence. Show yourself that you can do what needs to be done and just move forward. It's all in your head. I promise you. I promise you. And last but not least, I mentioned it a little before. You are not your job. You are so much more than what you do. You need to cultivate a work-life balance. Don't just be in the office all day or on your computer all day doing something for someone else. What about you? What do you like to do? Do you have hobbies? Do you have friends? Do you have family? What do you enjoy doing? Do you read books? Do you go rollerblading? Do you go hiking? Whatever that is, make sure you carve out time in your life to do it, so you're not just focused strictly on work and output and productivity. Do stuff that you enjoy, because you only have one life, and I hope you live it to the extent that you can, fully and happily. I know it's a little difficult. I do live in the DMV area. I live right outside of DC, and the first thing people ask you is, oh, hi, what's your name? What do you do for work? And that can be a little, it ties your self-worth to it, and I just want you to know that you're much more than that. I don't care if you're a brain surgeon or a janitor or a cook or a stay-at-home parent, whatever it is. It's important, yes, but that's not all you. So that's all I would say. Those are my top 10. I have 500,000 more I could do, but I just wanted to share that. Those are the main ones I wish I would have known before I started. Some practical, some emotional, some whatever. And I hope you can take this and enjoy what you learned, or not enjoy. I hope you can take this and learn from what I wish I knew, and caution yourself against some of the things and lean into the others, such as the PTO and enjoying life. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.